SAFM, South Africa's news and information leader.
Top COSATU leaders arrested in Swaziland, and government considers putting surveillance cameras in prison cells. Good evening. COSATU's Deputy President Singiswa Losi and Deputy International Organizer Zanele Matebula have been arrested in Swaziland. COSATU spokesperson Patrick Craven says he understands the two will now be deported. Losi and Matebula were arrested in the town of Seteke during a pro-democracy march. Police fired tear gas and rubber bullets to break up the protest. COSATU sent a delegation to Swaziland to take part in a week of demonstrations. Government is considering the possibility of pulling surveillance cameras in prison cells to combat sexual abuse and gang fights. Briefing Parliament's Correctional Services Committee on its response to the Jali Commission report, the department said abuses took place mostly after the lights were switched off. Committee Chairperson Vincent Smith says some may argue that it's an infringement of privacy and human rights.
Now, that might be the case. I am arguing here, and I'm going to put it into the public domain, that the interest of the abused inside the cell must supersede the interest of the abuser. So this argument of not having surveillance inside the cells is an argument that I don't buy, and I'm prepared to fight that argument with every civil society body that chooses otherwise.
Business Unity South Africa has pleaded for closer cooperation to further improve South Africa's economic competitiveness. According to a world survey, South Africa has moved up 4 places to be ranked the 50th most competitive country. Deputy Chief Executive of Business Unity SA, Raymond Parsons, says business unity must be encouraged.
I think business must work together, and I hope that will be the overarching goal, because if we want to grow at 6 and 7%, we'll have to do a number of things differently, and we'll have to do a number of things together, and that includes black and white business.
The Southern African Clothing and Textile Workers Union says it will seek a meeting with SARU to make sure they uphold their commitment to increase local manufacturing of Springbok rugby gear. The trade unions dismiss SARU's claim that the majority of Springbok replicas are produced locally. The Workers' Union says evidence at retail stores proves otherwise. Union spokesperson Fahmi Abrams.
We discovered through investigation that the reflection of what is made locally, it's not a reflection of the commitment that they've made to us, and we've expressed those concerns. Having said that, we're still willing to work with them. We're encouraged by the fact that they're saying they want to increase the local production. We will now seek a formal meeting with them where we can build on those practicalities of implementing the practical arrangements to ensure that the Springbok supporters gear will be made locally.
The sentencing of the Johannesburg business owner Daryl Pienser, who was found guilty on assault charges, has been postponed in the Durban Magistrates Court. Pienser was found guilty of spilling a drink on President Jacob Zuma during the July horse racing event in Durban last year. Defence counsel has requested the state to grant them 6 weeks to study the judgment. This after the state earlier mistakenly issued them with a blank cassette. The case was postponed to November 1st. The Netherlands government has granted funding to the South African Rooibos Council to explore further export markets in Europe. About 50% of the 12,000 tons of rooibos tea produced each year are exported to Germany. About 5,000 people are employed by the industry in the Cederberg region of the Western Cape. Council spokesperson David de Villiers.
There's opportunity for more value to be added in the product that we supply to the German market. If we can increase the size of our market share in markets like Germany, we can add value for the local participants in the value chain. But the result of this project is that it will increase the size of our exports.
The top story, COSATU's Deputy President Singiswa Losi and Deputy International Organizer Zanele Matebula have been arrested in Swaziland. COSATU spokesperson Patrick Craven says he understands the two will now be deported. SAFM News.